Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. I appreciate you being here with me to log an entry in the travel journal. If this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button. Today we'll be exploring Colorado's Manitou Cliff Dwellings. The Manitou Cliff Dwellings are located near Manitou Springs at the base of Pikes Peak in central Colorado. Today, they are a popular tourist destination, offering visitors a chance to walk through stone dwellings built in the style of ancient cliff communities of the American Southwest. However, unlike many well-known cliff dwellings, the structures at Manitou Springs are not original to this location. Instead, they represent a carefully reconstructed site built in the early 20th century using materials recovered from ancestral sites elsewhere in the Four Corners region. The dwellings were constructed between 1904 and 1907 by the McCurry brothers. Their goal was to preserve ancient stone ruins that were being damaged or dismantled at their original locations. They wanted to create an accessible educational attraction for the public. The stones used to build the Manitou Cliff Dwellings came from the Ancestral Puebloan sites located primarily in southwestern Colorado and southeastern Utah. These ruins dated from approximately 1000 to 1300 AD, a period when Ancestral Puebloan communities built multi-story stone villages, often beneath natural rock overhangs. The Ancestral Puebloans, sometimes historically referred to as the Anazi, were a group of indigenous people who lived across what is now the Four Corners region of the United States. Their descendants include modern Pueblo tribes such as the Hopi, Zuni, and Rio Grande Pueblo peoples. At their original sites, cliff dwellings served as residential, defensive, and communal spaces. They were often built near water sources, with stone masonry walls, wooden roof beams, and plaster interiors. Many dwellings also included storage rooms, living quarters, and ceremonial spaces. One of the most famous original cliff dwelling complexes is Cliff Palace, located in Mesa Verde National Park. Cliff Palace remains in its original location and is protected as a World Heritage Site. In contrast, the Manitou Cliff Dwellings were intentionally relocated and reconstructed. At the time the McCurry brothers began their work, there were few federal laws protecting archaeological sites. Many ancient ruins were being looted, dismantled for building materials, or left exposed to weather and vandalism. The brothers believed that relocating the stones and rebuilding the dwelling would preserve them for future generations. The reconstruction process involved transporting thousands of stones by wagon and rail to Manitou Springs. The builders carefully reassembled the structures using traditional dry stack masonry techniques without mortar to resemble the architectural style of the original cliff dwellings. Wooden beams and roofs were added to approximate historical construction methods. While the Manitou Cliff Dwellings are architecturally accurate in design, it is important to understand that they are not an archaeological site in their original context. The layouts reflect a generalized interpretation rather than a precise reconstruction of any single ancestral village. Today, The site is privately owned and operated by the McCurry family, now in its fourth generation. The dwellings function as both an educational exhibit and a historical attraction, allowing visitors to physically enter rooms, climb ladders, and observe construction details that would otherwise be inaccessible at protected sites like Mesa Verde. Interpretive displays at the site provide information about ancestral Puebloan life, including farming practices, pottery, weaving, tool making, and daily routines. Artifacts displayed on the site are replicas or legally acquired items, as original artifacts are protected under federal law. Modern perspectives on archaeology and indigenous heritage have evolved significantly since the early 1900s. Today, relocating ruins would not be permitted under laws such as the Antiquities Act of 1906 and the Archaeological Resources Protection Act of 1979, which safeguard cultural heritage sites on public and tribal lands. Some indigenous groups and archaeologists have expressed concern about reconstructed sites like Manitou, emphasizing the importance of preserving cultural materials in their original locations and respecting the spiritual significance of ancestral structures. At the same time, the Manitou Cliff Dwellings provide educational value by introducing visitors to ancestral Puebloan architecture and a history in a hands-on environment. For many people, this site serves as an entry point to learning about indigenous cultures of the American Southwest. The compact room sizes reflect the functional design of ancestral homes, which prioritized efficiency, insulation, and protection. Unlike modern buildings, these dwellings lack sharp corners or standardized dimensions. Each room was shaped by hand, adapted to the stone available, and constructed with practical rather than aesthetic considerations in mind. When visiting, it is important to distinguish between authentic archaeological sites and interpretive reconstructions. Both play different roles in preserving and teaching history. I hope I did the site justice and was clear that this is not an authentic archaeological site. I don't think I realized that at the time, but when I got home and did some research, I learned about it. My overall impressions of the site, it was worth the visit. I went early in the morning, so there was no crowd. I think I spent maybe 45 minutes there altogether. Was it worth the price of admission? It was for me, and I did enjoy climbing around on it. I had visited some authentic cliff dwellings in Arizona, and as you might imagine, in an authentic archaeological site, we weren't allowed to climb on or touch anything. So I do see some value in this experience.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.